How is it going, everyone? It seems like we have a bit of an update on Marvel Spider-Man 2. A prequel comic has been announced for Free Comic Book Day, and hidden in the PlayStation blog post, let's be real, it's not really hidden, but a little bit lower in the PlayStation blog post, we have the reasoning as to why Marvel Spider-Man is being pulled from PlayStation Plus. Oh, Sony, you guys are sly, I envy your ability to monetize games several times over. And even though I can be like, okay, this is a little wild that they're trying to sell this game again, but, you know, it is what it is, and given that we do have Spider-Man 2 coming up, I see why Sony is doing this from a business standpoint. We'll get to that in a little bit, but as noted by John Paquette, narrative director over at Insomniac Games, Saturday, May 6th is Free Comic Book Day, and to celebrate, we teamed up with Marvel to release a comic that will serve as a prequel to the upcoming game Marvel Spider-Man 2. When we initially sat down with the team at Marvel, we explored a few different ideas about what kinds of stories we could tell in a prequel comic, but we kept coming back to the same core premise. What if Peter, Miles, and MJ had to team up against a new supervillain whose powers they didn't understand? Additionally, we wanted to make sure that we could get a peek into what this heroic trio has been doing since the events of Marvel Spider-Man and Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. What is Pete up to now that there are two Spider-Men in the city? How is Miles doing in school, and how is MJ's journalism career going? In this story, their lives collide as Peter, Miles, and MJ attempt to balance their responsibilities to the city and each other. They keep coming back to one of the main themes of the comic: is magic real? Because in this action-packed issue, a beloved supervillain makes their first appearance in our universe and appears to have supernatural abilities that defy mere webs and fists, none other than the Hood. To find the answers to these questions, we collaborated with the experts writer Christos Gage, who was also one of the writers on Marvel Spider-Man, and artist Iguara. In celebration of a Free Comic Book Day, fans in the US can visit a participating comic book store or download the comic digitally on the Marvel Unlimited app or Marvel.com starting on May the 6th. The comic will be available digitally worldwide through the Marvel Unlimited app at a later date. And one more thing, we know you've all been patiently waiting for news on Marvel Spider-Man 2, and we thank you for hanging in there with us. Today we have one more piece of news: a standalone release of Marvel Spider-Man Remastered on PlayStation 5 console. Look, this ain't just a coincidence that they're pulling Spider-Man from the PlayStation Plus Extra catalog, and oh, look at that, we got Spider-Man Remastered now announced right before the game is about to get pulled. Later this month, Marvel Spider-Man Remastered will be available for standalone purchase on the PlayStation Store. This title was previously only included as a part of the Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales Ultimate Edition. On top of that, when the game becomes available, there will be an upgrade program for owners of the original Marvel Spider-Man on PS4 console. Whether you have a disc or digital copy of the PS4 game, you'll be able to upgrade to Marvel Spider-Man Remastered on the PS5 console for $10. Owners of Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales can still obtain Marvel Spider-Man Remastered by upgrading to the Ultimate Edition through the main menu of the PlayStation 5 version of Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. I believe that's $10 or $20. I think it's $20 to upgrade from Miles Morales into the Ultimate Edition. So if you have either Marvel Spider-Man Digital Deluxe Edition, or the Game of the Year Edition, physical or digital, $10 will get you Marvel Spider-Man Remastered, which also does include the City That Never Sleeps DLC. The remastered version is awesome. It looks fantastic. It plays great, and you know, it's worthwhile to go through that game again if you haven't played the remastered version, especially ahead of the release of Spider-Man 2. For those who don't fall into either of those categories, Marvel Spider-Man Remastered can be purchased on the PlayStation Store for, wait for it, $49.99. What are we doing here? Do not be spending $50 on it. You can go and buy a used copy of Spider-Man for literally like $10 to $15. Spend $10 and you'll get Spider-Man Remastered. That'll end up being like 25 bucks. You can probably get it even cheaper than that. Spider-Man is a super cheap game these days, and all you need is the base game. You don't even need the Game of the Year Edition. Just find the base game physically and then buy it that way. And digitally, it does go on sale for like $19.99, so if you do want it all digital, there's that option as well. I don't know if this is artificially going to jack up the price of Spider-Man. Sometimes that happens when an upgraded release comes out. They don't put the other version discounted, etc., etc. That's all for now. As always, you can find the latest information, or you can join the Discord channel. They also do note owners of PS4 disc copies must insert them into PlayStation 5 every time they want to play or download the PS5 digital version. PS4 game disc owners who buy the PS5 digital edition disc-free console will not be available to get the PS5 version for the discounted price, obviously, because you need to insert the disc. And PlayStation Plus members who claimed any edition of Spider-Man via their subscription are not eligible for the PS5 upgrade. I don't recall Marvel Spider-Man being a PlayStation Plus Essential title. Am I crazy about that? I feel like it wasn't, and I don't even think we have a date for this. I think it's gonna be May 6th, the same day as the free comic book day, but that wasn't specified. And also, I guess they want to note that you can't have the PlayStation Plus Extra version of the game and upgrade that way, because the PS Plus Extra version, I believe, is rotating out May 15th or 16th, something like that. But yeah, let's be real here. I was hoping this was gonna be an instance of them cycling Spider-Man Remastered into PlayStation Plus Extra, and that's why they were pulling Marvel Spider-Man, but even that didn't make a lot of sense, given that Marvel Spider-Man is available on PS4, and obviously Remastered is PS5 only. Why would you pull the base game from Marvel Spider-Man? Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. And I also guess Miles Morales will stay in Plus Extra, so you can take the Miles Morales and upgrade it to the Ultimate Edition and get remastered that way. I don't believe you can do that. I might be wrong about that. But nevertheless, you now know why Sony's doing this. And hey, like, some of us wanted to give them the benefit of that, hey, maybe Remastered is going into the PlayStation Plus Extra program, but like, all of us, I think all of you with an objective mindset knew in the back of your mind, Sony's got something fishy up their sleeves. They're trying to make a little cha-ching, cha-ching, and you know, they are a business, and Sony is up there with how Square Enix been monetizing Final Fantasy VII Remake. Square Enix released Final Fantasy VII Remake like 4 times. The initial PlayStation 4 release, the PlayStation 5 release, then they released it on the Epic Game Store. Thanks, Epic Game Store, for that check you handed them. And then they released it on Steam. With Spider-Man, they released Spider-Man, then they released City That Never Sleeps, then they released the Game of the Year edition, which all of that is fine. I don't have an issue with that, and I don't really have an issue with any of it. Then they bundled in Miles Morales with Spider-Man Remastered at $70, and then they used it as a vehicle to push PlayStation Plus Extra, given that it was available in the Plus Extra subscription, and then they released it on Steam as well. Don't forget the Steam release. They released that for $60, and now you're monetizing it again for $10 for the upgrade, or if you want to buy it standalone, $49.99. This is real release, and you know, I'm not gonna complain too much about it. All of the versions, I guess, you know, do serve a different means. It's just this case, the game being pulled from PlayStation Plus Extra, and them right away doing this remaster release, like, there's no bones about it. It's very transparent what they are doing here, and I know some people are just gonna be like, oh no, yo, $49.99 is a good price. $49.99 is a terrible price for a game that came out, what, 5 years ago, and yes, the PC release was $59.99, but at least that was on a new platform that's completely unrelated to PlayStation, and, you know, Remastered has been out since fall of 2020, so it's not even like this is a totally new release, and you know, it was a $20 surplus charge over Miles Morales, but you're releasing it standalone for $49.99. You guys just get what I'm saying? I know, sometimes the pricing stuff sometimes does bother me, and in this case, it is just so obvious what they did with Plus Extra that I'm just like, yo, that's kind of lame. That's kind of lame. And I know a lot of you guys are gonna be like, who doesn't have Spider-Man at this point? I get it that you're gonna say that, but the fact is, if you keep letting stuff like this slide, which ultimately, like, everybody's gonna let it slide, nobody really cares that much online, and people are gonna pay the $49.99 if they're even wanting to play it before Spider-Man 2 comes out. It's the stuff that Sony's gonna do. That's why, you know, they can release Last of Us at $70 and nobody bats an eye. You know, that's just something that they do, and I get it. They have a gigantic investment into these AAA single-player big-budget experiences. You want to monetize them as much as possible so you can have a return on your investment. That's why you're seeing all these PC releases as well, because they can monetize the same game over and over again, and then they can roll it into Plus Extra, drive Plus Extra subscriptions, etc., etc. But that'll do it for me. Main thing is, free comic book day, you'll get a prequel comic. That'll be interesting to check out. Spider-Man Remastered getting a standalone release. Now it's pretty obvious to see why the game was pulled from Plus Extra. That'll do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.